Hey everyone, Ethan here. In today's video, we are going to keep working on the online side of the racing card game. We are going to clean up a few things, connect the lobby flow with the actual race scene, synchronize the cars between players, and then start building the first version of the card system. So yeah, there is quite a lot to do today. First, I spent a bit of time cleaning the lessons.md file. Just as a quick reminder, lessons.md is the file where I tell Codex to write down the mistakes it makes, especially the ones I correct during development. The problem is that a lot of the notes in there were way too specific. They were not really general lessons or workflow problems. They were just bugs that happen in one very specific moment with one very specific feature, and since those problems are already fixed, there is no real point in keeping them there forever. So I cleaned it up a bit to save tokens and keep the file more useful. In the previous episode, we already worked on the car movement system and finished a good part of the track logic. So now I wanted to jump into the online flow. We had already added netcode for gameobjects and also the Unity multiplayer building blocks package. That package is actually really useful because it gives you ready-made UI for creating rooms, joining rooms, and handling the basic connection flow. So for this episode, the idea was to build the base online logic. I wanted to have a main menu scene. From there, the player should be able to create a room or join an existing one. Then once inside the lobby, we should be able to see the other players, see the room code, and let the host start the game. And when the game starts, everyone should move into the racetrack scene. I did not want to create custom UI for this yet. We are still prototyping, so I asked Codex to reuse as much as possible from the Unity sample scenes. The goal was just to move fast and get the flow working. So I asked Codex to create the scene transition flow and to handle the connection data between scenes. I put it in plan mode and let it work. After a while, it looked like it had something, but I was seeing a few errors and the scene was not loading correctly. After explaining the issue a bit, Codex managed to fix it pretty well. Then it looked like everything was working, but when I pressed the Start Game button, Unity said it could not switch scenes because there was no host or something like that. This was happening because we were using distributed authority in the network manager options. Without going too deep into it, when you use distributed authority, there is no classic host and client setup. Instead, the networked objects are distributed between the connected players, but again, Codex solved it pretty quickly. By the way, if you see two game windows on screen, that is because I'm using Unity multiplayer play mode. It is really useful. It lets you create extra clients inside the same editor, so you can test online features without leaving Unity. And as you can see, after a couple of fixes, we now have the basic flow working. We have a main menu with a very simple screen to create a room. When we create the room, it sends us to the lobby scene. Inside the lobby, we can see the players, the join code, and the start button. From another client, we can go to the main menu, paste that code, and join the same room. And if the first player starts the game, all clients move to the next scene. Of course, the race scene is not synchronized yet. Each player is still seeing a local version of the scene, with the cars and everything. But that is exactly the next step. So I opened a new Codex chat and asked it to review the current online flow and the scripts in the race scene. I told it that the task was to design and implement a synchronization system for the cars over the network. I also explained that we already had a basic prototype where cars move between grid cells, and right now, that movement is controlled through a temporary UI. The main requirement was simple. All players should see the cars on the same cells. I also asked Codex not to use network transform. The reason is that we do not really need network transform for this game. This is not a classic racing game or a shooter. We do not need every player to see the exact same position every single frame. This is more like a board game. It is slower, and what matters is the cell where the car is. So instead of synchronizing the transform all the time, we can just synchronize the cell data, then each client can move the cars locally. That should be much lighter and cleaner for this type of game. As always, I had Codex in plan mode. It asked me a few questions about how I wanted the system to work, and I told it that the host should be the one deciding the car positions and then replicate that state to the clients. For now, we were going to keep the 4 example cars we already had. And if a player connects late, the system should also synchronize the current car positions for that player. That probably will not happen much in the final game, but it is better to have it covered. Codex gave me the plan, I approved it, and it started implement pretty quickly. The system was ready. I went back to Unity, tested it, and it was working. If I move a car on the host, as you can see, the car also moves on the client. Since it was a bit annoying to go through the full flow every time, from the main menu to the lobby, and then into the game, I created a temporary network manager in the race scene. I also added a temporary UI so I could connect directly from there. The next thing I wanted to do was remove the 4 cars that always appeared in the scene. Instead, I wanted 1 car per connected player. For this, I went to chatgpt, explained what I needed, and asked it to create a very detailed prompt. I wanted the prompt to cover as many edge cases as possible, because for this system, there are quite a few things to think about. Player connection, reconnection, disconnection because of network issues, keeping the car assigned to the correct player, not losing references, not creating unnecessary duplicate cars, and eventually cleaning up cars from players that have been disconnected for too long. So I took that prompt from ChatGPT, pasted it into a new Codex chat, and asked Codex to plan the implementation. As usual, it asked me a few details about how I wanted it to work. Then it started implementing. Pretty quickly, we had the first version, but when I tested it, I could immediately see a problem. The 4 old example cars were still there when I connected, so I asked Codex to remove them. In the next implementation, I could not see any cars at all. Then I realized that only 1 car was being spawned, and it was also spawning on the wrong cell, so I asked Codex to fix that as well. After that, I found a few synchronization problems. For example, the host could see the cars, but the clients could not. But after a few iterations, with some trial and error, we got it working. And now, as you can see, the host can see the UI to move the cars, but the client cannot. If the host moves a car from the UI, that movement is replicated to all the other clients. Now that the car synchronization system is working, I think we can leave it here for now. The next important piece is the card system, because this is a card-based racing game. It is basically a board game style racing game. So we need a system that lets me create different types of cards, each one with its own logic. And we also need a system to deal cards to each player. Later on, we will need a proper deck system too. But for now, I wanted to start with the base. We need different types of cards. First, speed cards. These are the cards that move the car a certain number of cells. Then we have stress cards. These are the cards that let the player push the engine. I will explain how that works later. And then we will also have special cards. For now, I do not want to create too many weird cards, but I do want a solid base that can be expanded later. So, as always, I gave Codex a detailed prompt and let it work. After a while, it created the first version of the system, but I did not have a UI to clearly see what cards were being created or how they were being dealt. So I asked Codex to create a temporary UI to show that data on screen. Once I could validate that the system was going in the right direction, I asked it to create a more final-looking UI. I wanted the cards to appear on screen so I could actually see the player hand. In the first iteration, it created this. We can see the 4 cards. For now, they have debug text that tells us what each card is, because we still do not have proper sprites. Then I asked Codex to add some feedback to the cards. They looked a bit too plain. I also asked for a system to select cards. At this point, I added DoTween to the project. If you do not know DoTween, I really recommend it. I think it is basically essential for Unity projects. It makes code-based animations much easier to create. With that ready, Codex gave us the first result, but it had a bug, and the cards were not being placed correctly. After a few instructions, we fixed it pretty quickly. And honestly, I think the animation feels pretty smooth and satisfying. Visually, it was already looking much better. But I also wanted the cards to be placed in a more natural way, kind of like an arc, as if the player was holding them in their hand. So I asked Codex to create a script that places the cards in an arc. I also wanted parameters in the inspector, so I could tweak the arc manually. After a couple of iterations, we had it working. Now the cards feel much more natural, and I think they are also much nicer to look at. The only issue was that in this layout, the cards overlap each other. That is not a huge problem. In my game, the cards probably will not have much text because their logic is quite simple, but I still wanted them to be easier to read. So I asked Codex to make the card on the right move away slightly when I hover over a card. And honestly, Codex nailed it. The effect feels really good. I think for now, we can consider the visual card implementation done. Now we need the visual side of the decks. When Codex implemented the deck system earlier, it simply created one general deck. And from that deck, the cards were dealt to the player. But I need different decks. In this game, different types of cards go into different decks, and we also need discard piles. So I asked Codex to add the extra decks and also create a visual representation for them. I wanted card piles, not just numbers. The first iteration did not really convince me. I asked for visible cards in the decks, but what I got was basically just a number and not much else. But in the second attempt, it looked much better. Now we have the main deck on the left, like I asked, and we also have 2 discard decks on the right. Codex also created the scriptable object system. So now I can customize which cards are added to the main deck for each game. I can also choose from a drop-down which deck each card should go to, and I can define the amount of each card. Then I asked Codex to change the flow a bit. Instead of starting directly with cards in the hand, the player should have to draw them from the deck. For now, we do not have animations for that yet, but we can already draw cards and there is a hand limit. So yeah, I think we are getting closer to having a solid base for the game. There are still a few missing pieces before we have the first playable prototype, but the foundation is starting to feel much better. We now have the online flow. We have synchronized cars. We have player-assigned cars, and we have the first version of the card and deck systems. So I think we are going to leave the video here for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember that you can find my Patreon in the description if you want to support the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.